Ni hao everyone, I am Philip, a Brazilian engineer living in the south of China, and I want to show you a little bit more of my city. It's the first time I'm vlogging in English. I have another YouTube channel in Portuguese, and everyone is always curious about my city because I'm not living in a big city. I'm living in a small city for Chinese standards. There's 4.5 million people living here, which is small for China. I'm in the south, close to Guangzhou, Shenzhen, Hong Kong or Macau, if you have any idea where those cities are located in the China map, but it's not a big city. What I want to show is the streets and the people. Today, Saturday, is around 4 p.m., 15 degrees. People are outside, enjoying the life, and you can see it's normal people. Because one of the most common questions I get in my Portuguese YouTube channel is about the slavery in China. People are not happy. Only the big cities are developed, and this is part of downtown of my small city. And you can see everyone here just enjoying the life and going out for shopping, eating and drinking like everybody else doing in the rest of the world. And last week there was something happening here. Here's the kind of main square of the city. The city is formed by 5 counties, I think we can call like that in English. And this is the main one. It's supposed to be like the downtown. Those two are like big hotels, are very cool at night with the light show. And this is a kind of a main square. There was a coffee fair last week here. Luckin Coffee is the China version of Starbucks. They are bigger than Starbucks here, and they will start to open some coffee shops in the United States soon. That's what I heard. And actually now they're buying coffee beans from Brazil. And this side here, we have a lot of street food. I have no idea what this food is because normally I don't eat it. But those machines, Asia is full of those machines. If you go to Japan, you have buildings like 6 floors full of this kind of machines and different prices. What do they have here? Nothing interesting, nothing interesting. That's not nice. And Japan is nicer. And we have China Lottery. People are trying to get some money here, trying to get rich. Yeah, in China they also have a lottery. I never tried. I don't really like to spend my money on these kind of things. And even though it's winter for south of China, the ice cream store is full. It's one of the most famous ice cream stores in China. Interesting. But they also sell other things like tea, bubble tea, and whatever, I don't know. And here's a big shopping mall. We have the shopping mall and the Chinese cars. The fancy Chinese cars. Now this is not so fancy. Nio is not so fancy. Linkois. Linko is this brand here. Let's see. Wow, this minivan looks nice. Our production manager has this car. It costs around 300,000 RMB, but I have no idea how much it is in US dollars. Because, as I said, I'm an engineer, I'm a manufacturing engineer, I'm working in a washing machine factory here. And our production manager has that car, and one of my engineers has one of these cars here. And the engineer that works on my team, process engineer, this one of those cars. That's pretty cool. Can play some video game on those screens. Yeah, those cars are very nice. China is evolving quite fast on electric cars. Electric cars, nice cars. So here we saw 2 brands. I think there's another one over there. And some kind of Apple store. Yeah, there's cars. Let's see. Yeah. I was here last week and I saw they were assembling something for cars here. That's pretty cool. All those brands are Chinese brands. They hired at the beginning a lot of Western designers, but now they have their own designers. I have no idea how much this costs. And as you can see, we have Lego, and you have Lancome, and all the brands. And I like to show the malls in this area because there's all, as I said, there's all this idea that people in China, they're slaves. They make no money at all, working like 18 hours per day in a factory. That's not true anymore. Tim Cook, Apple CEO, is always saying that China is not a place for cheap labor anymore. And it has been like this for many, many years. That's why actually some factories are moving to Mexico, because Mexico labor cost now is cheaper than China, way cheaper. And of course it's cheaper, easier to export from Mexico to the United States. Just put on a truck and cross the border, like they do with drugs for many, many years. But China's not cheap anymore. In our factory, the operators are making like $800, $1,000 per month, which for China is a good salary because China is cheap. China is cheap. We cannot compare just the salary, but what the salary can buy in China. And the food here, especially food, is very, very cheap. Rent as well, but food is crazy cheap. And also healthcare. Even though it's not for free like in Brazil or Vietnam, all the healthcare system in Brazil and Vietnam is free for anyone. We call the universal healthcare system. You don't have to pay anything if you go to the doctor in Brazil. You don't have to pay anything for the ambulance. In Vietnam, it's the same. In China, you have to pay, but it's like crazy cheap. I went to a doctor to buy some contact lenses. The doctor did some tests and measurements. Two doctors saw me for, I don't know, 30 minutes. It was like $10. No, $15, more or less. $15. It's crazy cheap. With the tests and two doctors. It's insane cheap. I remember when I was working in Georgia, in 2021, I went to the hospital and it was like $5,000. It was insane. But we also have Tesla, of course, because Tesla has a gigafactory in Shanghai. Supposedly the most profitable and the best factory Tesla has, of course, is in China. Bank of Communications, what else? Oh, this bakery is nice. Oh, DJI, of course, the drone maker. My camera is from DJI. Oh, now they have the Mic Mini. Oh, that's cool. Maybe this will be my next microphone. This bakery is quite nice. It's not that busy now, but that's the life in China. See? People go on the weekends for eat and shopping in the shopping malls, like anywhere else in the world. Brazil would be the same, especially in smaller cities, because there's not much there's not much of a busy social life here, like opera concerts or whatever, like we have in Guangzhou. In Guangzhou, the opera house is full all the time. There's concerts every week, and here is mostly this. And that's actually on that other side, we have two buildings there. One of those buildings is another shopping mall, and this girl probably is filming something for Douyin. Douyin is the Chinese version of TikTok, because in China we have different apps. And why we have that? Because China don't want the data of all these people to be available for American companies and of course the American government. Not just the United States, but also Europe. So those apps are based in China, the data stays here, the knowledge stays in China, so they created all this by themselves. And we have another car brand here. I didn't see this one before. This also looks nice. Another Luckin Coffee, of course. They closed. There was a nice place here. It's closed. Oh, Zeekr is here. Zeekr also has nice cars. If I buy a car in China, probably will be a Zeekr. Anyway, going back to the apps. One of the reasons though Facebook, Twitter are blocked in China is because terrorist groups were getting organized inside those apps, especially Facebook. And China asked Facebook to do something about it, and Facebook did nothing. So China blocked Facebook in 2013, I think. And then they developed their own apps. And now the data stays here, the money stays here. It's a win-win scenario for China because now they have their own Facebook. They don't need Mark Zuckerberg for it. Oh yeah, that's the car that I want to buy. Wait, let me turn on the camera. This one. This one here. This one is nice. This car costs around so 300,000. Let me do the conversion here because I don't remember how much it would be. 300,000 RMB. 300,000, like $40,000. This car. But this is like one of the top cars. BYD selling an electric car now that is $10,000. And another coffee, a coffee with optic center. That is interesting. Indian, or the brand, one of the most famous tea brands in China, and another tea, and another tea. They have a lot of teas here. It's a nice day today. It is a very nice winter day in China. I think by the end of the month or January, we'll have like 5 degrees Celsius. I have no idea about Fahrenheit. So today is 14, 15 degrees Celsius. January will be around 5. And that's it for the south of China. For the north of China, we are close to Siberia, then it's like minus 30. Then it's insane cold. I was there in 2022 and it was horrible. It was too cold for me. But yeah, that's it. That's part of my city. Oh, we have a big Yves Saint Laurent thing here. So I like to show the city in this way because then you can see by yourself and judge by yourself how's the life in China. Do you think these people here, they are like slaves? Or they are not free because they cannot access Facebook? Because that's another very interesting argument people use when they're talking to me is, oh, China is not free, they cannot access Facebook. Like, really? Do you think these people here are not free because they don't have Facebook? Do you think they care? They have no Facebook at all? They have Chinese apps and they have money to buy things. They can travel, they have education, they have houses, they have everything. Why do they need Facebook? They even have a Spider-Man balloon here. And flowers. Wait. And many flowers. No. Yeah, here flowers. Okay. And a lot of motorbikes. A lot of motorbikes. Let me see if I can pass by them here. Yeah. So that's the life in a small city in China. People going out with their families. They play badminton a lot. The people from my factory, they have a team. Last week there was a competition between some factories in our factory district. And they ended up in the second place, I think. Oh, now they have some street food. Some street food. Let's see. I have no idea what it is. Go, delivery guy. Some kind of sweets. Interesting. And a very weird sausage, pink sausage that I'll never eat. Some food. Anyhow. And this, I'll never eat those sausages. Oh, now they have some interesting street food here. Let's adjust the camera. Interesting. Okay. Okay, let's go home. Yeah, okay, let me go. And another interesting thing about China is all this idea of social credit that doesn't really exist. So if you cross the red light here, nothing happened to you, nothing happened to me. The police will not stop me, I will not receive any fine, there's no social credit, there's nothing. Worst case scenario, I will be in the camera, and let me show you here. If someone passed by in the red light, it will be like this. And you have your face here on the camera, like this. That's it. but there's no name, there's no identification, there's no nothing. Nobody knows who this guy is. There's no name. It's just to show like, hey, this guy, like, see those guys? They're crossing on the red light. Delivery guys. Nothing happened to them. Look there. And there they go. They will not receive any fine, nothing. Even though there's a lot of cameras around, nobody really cares. And same for this guy. Nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to me. This idea is just propaganda against China. And I'm not even trying to say a good thing about China. I'm just exposing the facts. Nothing happens. And another reason of me doing street videos, as I already mentioned, I have another YouTube channel in Portuguese, is to show that no one is controlling anything. I'm walking anywhere I want, I talk about whatever I want, and there's no control at all. There's no communist part of China pulling the strings and say, Philip, do this, Philip, show that. No, nobody really cares. Like, nothing. Did you see any police on the streets? There's no police. There's no one. There's no one following me. I'm just here walking and filming and showing the city. Because again, there's all this idea that the government controls everything. If you are filming something, it's because the government allow you to do it. And unfortunately. And another reason I'm doing videos outside is to show there's no one like telling me what to do or what to film, like pulling the strings and say, Philip, show this, Philip, talk about that. Like, did you see any police around on the video? I'm walking here for 15 minutes on the downtown. There's no police at all, nothing. It's very hard to find police in China. There's no one around me. There's no one saying, hey, you have to talk about this topic. Nothing. Because there's all this idea that if we are showing something, is because the government approved us to show this part of the city or that part or talk about this topic. Nobody really cares. The government is busy with more important things like, I don't know, Taiwan, Ukraine, Xinjiang, whatever. Like, really, this whole idea that the government's controlling every step of our lives is just propaganda again. It's always propaganda. There's too much propaganda against China. And it's funny because we are living here, so we can see how the propaganda works. Because it doesn't really reflect in our real life. All those things that we hear and read about China, as I said before, the slavery, the lack of freedom, the government controlling every step, and this doesn't really exist. I filmed whatever I want. I've been traveling in China to many, many places. There's no such thing like, oh, you cannot go to this area by yourself. Only with someone from the government with you. And it never happened with me. Never. And I'm always filming everywhere. I have a YouTube channel since 2020, and nothing happened to me. I'm always talking about whatever topic I want to talk, like labor laws, working in China, Uyghur, Xinjiang. I have videos about that, and nothing happened to me. I'm still here working. I crossed the streets out of the zebra line many times. I didn't lose any social credit because this doesn't exist. So every week I'm trying to show the real China. And I wish I was paid for that, because many people think I am, but unfortunately I'm not. I wish I was paid for that. I'm just here showing because I like to do that. I enjoy make those videos and kind of showing how is the life here, because there's a lot of people curious about how's China. China is very far, especially from Brazil. So people are really, really curious about life, what the Chinese do, like on a Friday night, how they have fun, what kind of sports they watch on TV. That's what I'm trying to do. Oh, there was a dog here, because there's 3 pet shops on this area, and there was a Labrador, but now not anymore. They removed. Oh, that's another interesting topic about the Chinese eating dogs. This is something very, very old in China, and like it's a very small percentage of Chinese people who still eat dogs. Like in South Korea, or like in Switzerland. Yes, Switzerland, that white rich country. They also eat cats and dogs. Actually, the government tried to forbid them, and people from Switzerland fought it, the government to not forbid the law. Here in China, the government said no more. And now there's very few restaurants of dog meat. It's really not something that the normal Chinese eat anymore. Here they eat more chicken, duck, goose, and pork. A lot of pork, a lot of pork. Not so much red meat, like cows, but mostly pork and chicken and duck. Especially here in the south, we eat a lot of duck. There's the famous Beijing duck. This restaurant here sells Beijing duck, but no dogs. In my city, there is no dog meat. I asked my colleagues just because I was curious about it. Not that I want to try it. I really don't want to eat dogs. And they told me not anymore. It's harder and harder to find this kind of exotic meat in China. You have to go to the smaller cities to find like snakes, rats, and dog meat. But I mean, as I said, it's disappearing. It's a tradition that is disappearing, which is kind of good, I guess, because this, let's go, because this, there's not a very healthy meat. I don't think they really care, take care of the meat before cooking it. Maybe it's kind of dangerous. I don't want to get sick. Two girls also doing some kind of Douyin video, TikTok video in China. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so many things to talk about it. That's another thing about China, that in China TikTok only shows educational videos. That's not true. That's not true, you know. China TikTok shows whatever. It's like outside of China, it's the same thing. The content is the same. In China there's some restrictions regarding age, like what people can watch based on their age, but besides that, it's the same. You can find whatever you want to find on TikTok, Douyin actually, Douyin, Kuai, I think it's Kuai. WeChat Moments, there's several apps similar to TikTok. Anyway, I'm getting home. I'm living in one of those buildings here. I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. If it works, if people like it, if people watch, I'll keep doing more. Maybe I'll get the same topics I'm talking in Portuguese and just talk about it in English. And leave a comment if you have an idea, any suggestion. Leave a like if you like the video, if you enjoy, and see you next time.